Hi, Sandy Shaw again. I'm with Bob Smith, historian, Hall of Famer for his work in the history of surfing throughout Australia. Not only that, he's a Surf Coast Longboarders Life member. He's done a lot for surfing. Bob, could you give us a bit of an insight into when you start surfing? What year was it when you started surfing?
Well, I guess I was a teenager, probably around 1963, 64. I was fortunate in my cousin moved down to Geelong and he had a surfboard. I didn't have one, so I'd come down with my parents to visit for weekends and I'd end up down at Torquay with him on a borrowed board.
Well, that's how it works, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Back in those days. What sort of board were you riding back then?
He had a board from Sydney, a McDonough, and I can remember it very, very clearly because he went to St Joseph's in Geelong, and St Joseph's colours were black and red and yellow gold, and he had those coloured pigment stripes down the board with black and red and yellow.
Right, okay. And from that time you progressed further on into the 70s. What sort of things happened in the 70s and what sort of boards were you riding?
I guess I was very fortunate to go through the whole transitional era, starting off on longboards, on Mel's, and then boards gradually got shorter and shorter through late 67 through to 1970 in particular. And then I was very fortunate that I moved down to Torquay in the early 70s, gaining a teaching position here at Torquay Primary School. So there was really some massive changes in surfboard design in that time. So they basically went from, I was riding a 9'3" Malibu and probably ended up on about a 5'10" shortboard. And then with the influence of the world titles in 1970, we went longer again, getting onto more semi-guns and gun-type boards with flat bottoms and down rails because of our two main brakes, Bells and Winky Pop.
Yeah, and I suppose in that time the Hawaiians were into their pocket rockets and they brought them over here for belts. I think it was Ralph Arnaz.
Correct. There were probably two groups, the Californians and the Hawaiians. They were into longer boards and more of a speed trip than we were here. We had a few isolated cases like Midget always stuck to his speed boards and longer boards. And one of our local surfboard manufacturer shapers, Pat Morgan, really embraced the Californians and the Hawaiian speed concept, and he in particular adapted his boards for the reef brakes of Bells and Winky and that speed approach.
Yes. Have you seen much of a change in surfing through? You go through the 80s and the 90s and all of a sudden we come to this great explosion, and what do you see around the coast? How things have changed?
There's been a lot of changes. Obviously there's been a fair amount of development. We live in such a beautiful area that people want to come and enjoy our lifestyle that we're enjoying. So obviously it's got more crowded and will continue to get crowded, but we've just got to be a little bit smarter in the way we surf, the way we tolerate people.
And show a bit of respect.
Show respect, talk to people instead of being confrontational.
Yes.
Just talk to people if there's a bit of an altercation and perhaps explain things. So yeah, I think we have to go down that path a lot more.
Right, okay. Well, thank you very much, Bob, for your time. We'll wrap it up here, and all the best in your surfing and getting well, and I'd like to see you out in the water until at least 90.
Oh, thank you very much. And obviously the main thing with surfing is just going surfing, and I embrace that wholeheartedly, and I look forward to getting in the water with good people, good waves as much as I can.
And about boards, where do you see boards going, say, in the next 10 years, their design and weights and everything like that?
It will keep changing and it will keep improving, and we've just had the Rip Curl Pro here, and I think everyone's noticed how well they all surf now, not just one or two of them or 8 or 10 or 15 of them, but everyone on the pro circuit, they surf extremely well, and I think we can put that partly down to improved equipment, with lightness, new materials, epoxy, surfboards since day one people have always been experimenting and trying to improve, and I think that will continue to happen.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time, Bob.
Pleasure.
I'm Sandy Shaw. This is Bob Smith. Toodaloo.